Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
Pitching, pitching, pitching. That's the name of the game, and when the Indians and Rays get together, runs are usually tough to come by. Corey Kluber and Matt Moore put on a great duel in Game 1. Carlos Carrasco then continued his Tampa dominance last night, outdueling strikeout machine Drew Smyly. Today's finale matches a pair of former Tribe farmhands. Danny Salazar and Chris Archer will square off next on Sports Time Ohio. Another beautiful day in the Sunshine State. But unfortunately, the fans will have to watch this one indoors at Tropicana Field as the Indians and the Rays wrap up this three-game series. It's the rubber match, and it's a great pitching matchup. There they are, the former Indian farmhands, Danny Salazar, Chris Archer, renewing acquaintances yesterday before the ball game. No, Archer will not be batting against Danny Salazar here this afternoon, and that's probably a good thing for him. Probably a good thing for Salazar. He doesn't have to face Archer because these two guys can flat out pitch. And a year ago, Rick, you think back to the game Danny Salazar had here at Tropicana Field, he was on that no-hit pace, that perfect game pace, and pitched deep into the ball game.
That was part of that series, and he faced the Rays one time, and he ended up getting the win, going 7 2/3 innings. Gave up a couple of runs, but Salazar, that string stop. He had 43 consecutive starts with at least 3 strikeouts or more. He only had 2 in this ball game, but he was very efficient. That's why he was able to pitch deep in the ball game. He was 6-1 against American League East teams last year, so the Rays were one victim. And Chris Archer, 0-3 in his career against the Indians. He's off to a rough start right now. Gave up 4 home runs in his one start to the Baltimore Orioles, but Chris Archer is nasty. If he gets the ball down in the strike zone, he can strike you out, and he can minimize the hits.
Indians trying to get their first series win of the year and head back home to Cleveland with a winning record, where the New York Mets, the National League champions, will await the Tribe at Progressive Field. We'll be back with today's first pitch coming up in a bit, but first, when we return, Alan Jensen will be back in the studio. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. missed. At the knees, outside corner. Swung out and missed. Morrison goes fishing. KIPNIS crushes one. Goodbye. Davis's throw. They got him! Smashed to first. What a diving stop by Napoli. Swung out and missed. He struck him out with some high heat. And so we have come to the series finale here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Winner will take 2 out of 3 and move on. Good pitching matchup. With more on that, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, with Chris Archer and Danny Salazar on the mound, they both were together back in 2006 in instructional league ball for the Indians. Now, Danny didn't pitch at that time at all, but he did say that he built a relationship with with Archer. He says they've talked, they played in the Dominican together, and he says he was a real wild pitcher. Now, for Archer, he has struggled over his last 6 starts. A lot of people think about it that it's really just location, and once he gets his location together, he will be fine at the end of the day. I talked to Archer yesterday. He says his time with the Indians is still very important with him. He says all of his routines that he does in between starts is all comes from his time with the Indians, and he appreciates that time, and he wants to get his first win against the Indians. Hopefully that doesn't happen today.
All right, thanks a lot, Andre. Good job ducking the chunks of bubble gum fired your way. Chris Archer on the hill getting loose for Tampa. Here's the starting lineup he will face today for Terry Francona's ball club, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Rajai Davis once again leading it off. Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli will DH today and hit cleanup. Carlos Santana's at first base hitting 5th. Then it's Jose Ramirez. Marlon Byrd, Tyler Naquin getting the start. He'll bat 8th. And Roberto Perez, his first action of the year, batting 9th.
And our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for today is Chris Archer, 27 years old. He's off to a slow start. He's only pitched 5 innings in each of his starts, but his last one in Baltimore gave up 10 hits. 4 of those hits were home runs, so he left that ball game in a hurry. So Archer is 0-3 in his career against his former club, the Cleveland Indians, so we'll see what he has to offer today. Let's set the defense behind him this afternoon. It looks like this. In the outfield, it'll be Jennings in left field, KIERMAIER in center, Souza Jr. over in right, Longoria at third, Miller at short, FORSYTHE is at second, Morrison at first, and Conger doing the catching.
Crew Chief Mike Winters will call the balls and strikes. Mark Wegner is at first base. Marty Foster at second. Mike McClinsky down at third. We are ready to go now as Rajai Davis steps in. And Chris Archer's first pitch is a fastball in there for strike 1. Davis 1 for 7 in the series with a double. Caught in between and waves at it. It's 0-2.
Well, Archer, a guy, he was second in the league in strikeouts last year, 252. So if he's on his ball game, he can get a lot of swings and misses.
Davis fouls that off to the right.
I saw a little video from his last start. It seemed like he was up in the strike zone a lot. Hence the 4 home runs, but on the year, 17 strikeouts and 5 walks.
Right back up the middle. Nice piece of hitting by Davis. Archer's glove came off in the process. I don't think he threw his glove at it. And Davis is aboard with a leadoff single.
Yeah, it looks like he catches a little slider out over the plate. Not a bad pitch. Davis did a nice job. And watch Archer go up and try and get that ball, and the glove falls off his hand. So pretty good job of hitting right there by Rajai.
Picks up his 4th hit of the year. Davis has a stolen base. He's been caught once. And now KIPNIS stands in against Archer. Archer's specific game plan coming into today's start was to, quote, fill up the strike zone. His manager, Kevin Cash, said that, against Baltimore and against Toronto, those hitters, he said, were particularly patient. They weren't chasing his slider. So he said he thinks he needs to really establish his fastball, get ahead more, and that'll open up the opportunity to get hitters to chase after the slider.
Well, and right there, Davis hit the slider for a base hit, did a pretty good job of staying on it. I think the Indians hitters will be glad they're finally seeing a right-hander.
Well, that's something unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Season began with left-hander David Price, then they got Clay Buchholz, but then all lefties in Chicago. Davis takes off, the throw not in time, keeps the foot on the bag, and Davis has his second steal. The only worry there was, would he stay on the base?
Boy, good jump. And he's got it down. He slides early, gets the hand in there, and then just pulls that foot across and keeps it on the base.
Meanwhile, KIPNIS is sitting with a 3-0 count. And he takes low, ball 4. First two have reached for the Tribe. And now a meeting on the mound between Hank Conger, the catcher, Evan Longoria, the elder statesman and team leader, and Archer.
Well, you go back and look at Archer's starts from September. He has been struggling. Andre touched on it. At the end of August, since then, he is 0-5 with a .615 earned run average. And has really struggled. So I don't know if command has had anything to do with it, but that's for a streak for a guy that's as talented as Chris Archer.
2 on, nobody out. And LINDOR looks at ball 1 down low. Indians trying to get to Archer early here. And that pitch does leak over the plate for a strike, 1-1. There was some talk, and it was written about, that Archer's velocity was down.
Here we go, 12.
And he said, quote, "I'm not concerned at all about a 2-mile-an-hour drop-off." Also called it, the talk, comical. Swung on and missed. In fact, Archer said, you know, Eddie Romero was throwing 95 rather than 98. Nobody wanted to write any headlines about his velocity.
Well, when you're the #1 starter and you get beat up, you know, in a couple of starts, of course they're going to look at something and try and figure it out. But if Archer pitches from in front of the count like this, 1-2, that's how you get hitters to expand their strike zone.
Good block by Conger.
Nicely done.
Evens it up at 2-2.
He keeps the runners where they're at, and it's still a double play situation. So it goes right into his chest protector, keeps it out in front. And you have good speed on the bases for the Indians.
Davis at second, KIPNIS at first. LINDOR with a 2-2 count. And that's fouled out of play to the left. Chris Archer said, "I just have to continue to trust my stuff, because the biggest thing when you have a bad outing is bouncing back and trusting your ability, trusting your stuff." He said, "I've bounced back from tough outings before. It's not a foreign thing." Now the 2-2. And he got him to chase. Strikes him out, 1 away.
It's the slider we were talking about.
Here are the keys to the game, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. When the Indians score 4 or more in support of the starting pitcher, their record is off the charts in the last several years under Terry Francona. Salazar, secondary pitches could be very important today. Mike Napoli. He's gone 2 for 8 with a double in the series. And he can't catch up to the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Nothing wrong with the velocity there. Davis takes off. He's got third base stolen, uncontested.
Well,
Napoli took
he
a
almost
strike.
did it in the at-bat for LINDOR, and he stopped. But he had him timed beautifully and watched the hop, and he just took off. This time he didn't stop. And behind the plate, Conger didn't even bother.
Count now 0-2 on Napoli, though.
Knew he did not have a chance.
KIPNIS did not go, so he's still at first.
Yeah, that's where, you know, Davis just got his jump, and he went. There was no steal sign on or double steal, and KIPNIS can't run because he tried it earlier and stopped. So you know, he's pretty much he's got to wait. Wouldn't be a bad time to go for him, though.
Count still 0-2 on Napoli. Rays really shifted around to the left on the left side of the infield. Second baseman Forsythe shading him up the middle. Punches that one the other way, but out of play.
Good job of staying alive. Slider down and away. That's one reason why I thought KIPNIS may have an opportunity to run. Could get the breaking ball in a situation. A lot of times you have a tendency to bounce it when you're going for a strikeout.
First inning opportunity for Cleveland. First and third, one out. And Napoli pops this one up. Maybe playable here. Morrison in front of the dugout has it. And there are two down. So now Archer, opportunity to get out of trouble, and that could be a huge boost for him when you've been struggling and things haven't gone your way. You get into a first inning jam like he was in, 2 on, nobody out. He's able to wriggle off the hook. That could really go a long way to restoring some of that confidence. Carlos Santana, 1 out of 7 in the series with a run batted in. That came yesterday in a sac fly situation. Tampa Bay will shift. They'll send 3 to the right side of the infield, including the Santana taking, and that's a strike. They keep Longoria, the third baseman, on the left side, everybody else to the right. And he's quickly ahead 0-2.
Let's check this pitch out on our Nissan pitch tracker. Slider, backdoor variety, came on the outside corner. So now Santana really has to work hard to stay alive here down in the count 0-2.
KIPNIS takes off, and he'll steal that base uncontested. So third steal of the inning for the Indians. 2 in scoring position for Santana. I'll be honest, the Rays looked surprised that KIPNIS was running. Now Archer ready with a 1-2. And he strikes him out with a high fastball. Archer K's a pair, and the Indians strand 2. Now the Rays are coming to bat when we come back. First, and Kevin Cash's starting lineup today will have Logan Forsythe and Logan Morrison. Once again, a 1-2 punch at the top, followed by Evan Longoria. Dickerson, Jennings, and Brad Miller will occupy the middle third. Steven Souza Jr., Kevin Kiermaier, and Hank Conger round it out.
And the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, Danny Salazar, 26-year-older, won his first start against the White Sox, went 5 1/3 innings, a couple of hits, 1 run, and had 7 strikeouts in that ball game. He did walk 3. He had a beautiful start here last year against the Rays.
Fouled right back. Got a piece of Roberto Perez, his first action of the season, and on the first pitch,
yeah, welcome to the lineup. Well, that didn't take long. 1 pitch.
Upstairs with a fastball, 1-1. Sky high, but that's going to go out of play down the right side. Indians 3-3 to start the year. Tampa Bay 3-5. The 6 games played by the Indians, still the fewest in all of baseball. And now a full count. Payoff pitch, and it's slap foul again.
Pretty good pitch he fouled off there. Down and away, and sometimes it takes Danny a little bit to get his feel for his fastball early in the ball game, trying to command it.
Right back up the middle, and that'll get through. Forsythe has his 3rd hit of the series, and Tampa has their leadoff man aboard.
Let's check the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Davis in left field. Naquin gets the start at center. Bird over and right. Ramirez at 3rd. Lindor at short. Kipnis is at 2nd. Santana at 1st, with Perez making his first start of the year.
Logan Morrison, just 2 for 25 to start the year, will bat with 1 on here in the first. And a strike call. Perez, very tough to run on behind the plate. 39% caught stealing. That was the #1 in the majors last year, with a minimum of 40 attempts against.
Yeah, you certainly don't lose anything behind the plate when he is in a ball game.
Danny Salazar got off to a fast start last year, won his first 3 starts, went 8-4 in the first half of the campaign, then went 6-6 the rest of the way to finish 14-10.
Yeah, Danny made 15 of his starts, or excuse me, 18 of his starts on the road. He was one of the few pitchers that pitched better at home than on the road, because the Tribe pitchers, they did very well. They had a over 500 record on the road last year.
Yeah, 7-2, 2.96 ERA at home. 7-8, 3.80 on the road. It's a tough one to figure out why those things happen year to year.
I know. Yes, it is. And it changes every year.
Morrison swing and a miss, and Salazar strikes him out. Might have got a piece of it, but Perez able to hold on.
Yes, he was.
Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. And over the last 2 years, Indians starting pitchers, it's dome sweet home.
Yeah, they have dominated. Look at they're hitting 126, and most of the hits, they don't give up any in the first 5 innings. That 4-game series that they had here last year was about as well pitched as you will ever see a series.
Carrasco, Kluber. I think he went around on the appeal.
Yeah, so he did. The first base umpire, yeah. Mark Wagner said he did.
So it is an 0-1 count now, 1-1. Longoria, 2 out of 7 in the series with a home run. And that time, Longoria couldn't help himself.
That had that spin. It was a changeup, but it looked like a slider.
A lot of them do.
One, yeah, that's one that came out of his hand, and it almost looked like a slider, but you could see it was actually his fork ball.
A slider would have
You'd see
more
the spin on it.
Yeah. Well, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 on 1 out here in the first. Normally you see the changeup because of the grip. Normally it comes out of the pitcher's hand and spins the opposite direction. But Salazar has a unique grip for that changeup. Longoria with a long fly ball to center field. Naquin is there, and the rookie center fielder hauls it in for out number 2. Corey Dickerson will serve as the DH once again, hitting .259 to start the campaign with 3 homers, 3 driven in, a couple of doubles, including 1 in the series. Good pitch in for a strike. Had Dickerson backing away from it, but it was right there.
The Indians were able to stop the home run streak that the Rays had going at 21 consecutive games going into last year. That streak stopped last night.
Big bouncer to first. Santana will take it himself. No runs ahead, a man left. We played a scoreless inning here in Tampa.
MLB.com @bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Jose Ramirez will lead it off for the Indians. In on his fist, he fouls it back. Ramirez off to a good start, batting .313. Archer goes with the changeup, and Ramirez chases after it. Third strikeout for the Rays right-hander.
Take a look at the changeup, down and away, bounces, gets him to chase after a pitch outside the strike zone. Gets his third strikeout.
Marlinberg smacks one to right field, and Souza Jr. over toward the line makes the catch for out number 2. Today's Levin player profile on Chris Archer, drafted by the Indians in the 5th round back in '06. The Indians sent him to Chicago for Mark DeRosa in '08, and then he was traded here to Tampa in a monster trade that included essentially Matt Garza. In on him, fouled out of play. Tyler Naquin. 1 out of 4 to start the year.
Came in late in the game for defense last night, ended up getting in that bat. Only a second start on the year.
And he shoots it into left field for a base hit. So Tyler Naquin will keep the inning alive with a 2-out single here in the 2nd.
Stayed on that baseball very well. That fastball off the plate. And he did exactly what you're supposed to. Take it the other way, gets a base hit, 2-out single, 2nd hit for the Tribe.
Here is Roberto Perez now. His first at bat of the year. Archer fires. And a fastball misses inside. Almost took off to the backstop, and a nice spear by Conger to climb the ladder and grab it. Again, he misses upstairs.
In Archer's first couple of starts, as I mentioned, he only went 5 innings in each start, and his first one he had 107 pitches, his second one 97 pitches. So he's been throwing a lot of pitches and only lasting 5 innings, so he's been all over the place.
Oh, borderline pitch called a strike. Roberto thought it was ball 4.
Well, that's a gift call. That's high. That's not a strike. That's the 3-0 courtesy call.
And then he executes a perfect pitch down and away. And the count goes full. So with 2 down, Tyler Naquin will be off at first base. In the dirt, ball 4, and he's walked his second in as many innings. And for the second time today, the Indians have 2 on.
Number 20, left fielder, Rajay Davis.
We have a couple here, Joyce and Skip McClintock from Jefferson, Ohio, celebrating their 60th anniversary in attendance today to watch the Tribe play.
Rajay Davis lined a slider right back up the middle for a leadoff single in the first inning. Batting here now with 2 on and 2 out. And he goes after it, but comes up empty. 0-2.
That seems to be the pitch that he has a feel for better than his fastball, is that slider. Davis got a base hit on a slider the first at bat, but his fastball is all over the place today. Early. This will be pitch number 40 for Archer in 2 innings.
And again, a line drive by Davis. This one right at Forsythe, ending the inning. Indians strand 2 more. No score, middle of the second.
Ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is back. You can grab some friends and catch the game from the corner or the new drink rails out in left field. District tickets only available online at Indians.com/district ticket.
Desmond Jennings will lead it off for Tampa here in the second inning. Danny Salazar goes to work, and it's popped back and just out of play. That one got away from him, cut out of the breaking ball. At the knees, just did catch the outside corner, much to the chagrin of Desmond Jennings. He didn't like it.
Now let's take a look at it. That's what you can't hit, so don't swing. But it's called a strike.
And he chases that one for strike 3. Second K for Salazar.
This will be our Circle K strikeout. Leave it down. Gets him to swing over the top of it. There's the spin and that changeup down. Good, well located out of the zone.
Brad Miller lines one the other way, but foul. Miller just 2 out of 23 to start the year. Tried to wrap it around the outside corner, but Perez couldn't get the call from the home plate umpire. Mike Winters, the crew chief. Attacks with the heater, and it's fouled out of play. Opening game of the series, we had 10,283. Yesterday, 10,117. Now for the afternoon affair. The interesting thing to note is that middle deck is almost completely filled.
I just looked over as I was looking at you, and I noticed that.
A special seat program going on, but almost every single one of those seats in that middle tier are filled. Pulls it fouled as Miller stays 2-2. Tampa will host the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. The Indians are going home to take on the New York Mets. 2-2 offering low. We won't see Tampa again until late June when the Rays come to Cleveland for a 3-game series.
Yeah, on the homestand we'll have the Mets for 3, off day Monday, and then Seattle comes to town.
3-2 is fouled away to the left side into the upper deck. And then after that we'll get into the Central for a bit. Go to Detroit, Minnesota.
Both homestands that we're going to have in April is sort of surprising that the teams only come there once, when we open with Boston, and now it's going to be the Mets and Seattle.
Miller takes a walk. The efficiency with which Salazar pitched in that game against Tampa a year ago is not there today.
Right fielder, number 20,
And the efficiency that Chris Archer was seeking doesn't seem to be there today either. Steven Souza Jr. 3 homers, 5 driven in with a double. And there's a strike call to the outside corner. Outfield straightaway. And Salazar taking forever in a day to get the sign from Perez.
You know how they like him to work quicker. They want to see that tempo up. It's not up today for him.
And he misses high, 1-1. Pace always slows considerably when you have a runner on base, but for Salazar, he's kind of working himself to sleep. 2-1.
Yeah, he's walking around and let's see if maybe Mickey says anything in between innings to keep him moving a little quicker. Get into that rhythm or get a nice tempo.
3-1. Also remember, this is Roberto Perez's first action of the year, so.
Well, you know, it's pretty simple. Danny's going to throw primarily fastballs. That he shook off a couple of times and he threw the slider, but it's basically fastball changeup for him. And you get behind the count and let's go. Heater.
Missed outside. He's walked 2 in a row. We might see Mickey Callaway sooner than you were thinking. As Kevin Kiermaier will be the batter.
Center fielder, number 39, Kevin Kiermaier.
And this is a tough guy to double up here in the batter's box. He can get down the line very well. Matter of fact, beat out a double play yesterday to score their only run. He ended up coming around to score after he beat it out. So one thing you want to do with this Rays lineup, you don't want to give them any free base runners. They have to work their way on. They have a tough time hitting. Only hitting .216 as a team. And in the first 2 games, we've documented, you know, how they get outscored in the first 6 innings of a ball game. (27-9) they've been outscored in innings 1 through 5.
Lazy pop to left. Davis makes the catch, and the runners hold. 2 down. Arkia in the driver's seat shows you that when the Indians score 4 or more runs of support for the starting pitcher, in other words 4 runs when he's in the game, for those of you who don't know what that means, they're 149-15 and they've won 38 in a row. That goes back to since Terry Francona took over as manager. Not quite a full shift as Francisco Lindor shades up the middle, but still stays to the shortstop side of second base. And Conger checks, it's up high, ball one. And there you look at the defensive alignment. Naquin, the center fielder, shading Conger a bit the other way. Well, now Salazar about to make his 40th pitch of the ball game. That's right where Archer is for Tampa. Bullseye, 1-1. Oh boy, did he take something off, and Conger was way out in front of it, 1-2.
Yeah, cheating for that fastball.
Boy, out of the hand, it must have looked like that fastball, like he was going to get on it, and the next thing you know, he's way out in front of it.
Yeah, you can see how that change of pace, that hitter gets geared up for that mid-90s fastball. You know, you have to start a little bit earlier, and that's an excellent pitch.
2 on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Wow, 97 at the knees, but no call. And it's 2-2.
Well, you know what? He was rocking to sit away. That ball was a strike. He didn't get it called because he was looking on the outside part of the play, but you can't make a better pitch than he did right there, and did not get the call.
There's the 2-2. Smack to right center. And a sliding backhanded catch by Marlon Byrd. Saves a couple of runs and ends the inning. Well, Marlon Byrd showing he hasn't lost a step in the outfield as he runs it down. And the inning is over. All around after that fine catch he made to end the bottom of the second inning. And as we head to the third, Jason Kipnis will lead it off. And as we go down to Andre Knott, it's probably a sight for sore eyes to see a right-hander out there on the hill for Kipnis.
Absolutely. He told me he thought they were playing a joke on him when he actually saw a guy from the right-hand side pitching. He said it did relax him. He goes, they've worked so much at keeping his shoulder in and driving the ball with the lefty that he said everything naturally came to him last night when he saw righty. So he was looking forward to the matchup with Archer today and really trying to get a victory in this game and go home with a win streak going for the Tribe.
Well, Jason Kipnis taking a strike. He walked and stole a base in that first inning. Here in the early going, both Danny Salazar and Chris Archer are searching for it. Now, they haven't given up a run because their stuff is so good that they can still work out at jams, but neither one of them has really gotten into a good rhythm yet.
Well, the Indians have had at least 2 guys on base in the first 2 innings, and he's had to throw a lot of pitches to get out of it. Bird just made a nice defensive play after we thought Salazar had him struck out, so it was a good play to save right there. That would have hurt.
Pulls that breaking ball on the ground on the right side. Forsythe throws him out. 1 down.
It's a bird. You know, that's a big play for the Indians and Salazar. He gives him that fastball away. And he got an extra strike in that at bat, but that fine play gets him out of the inning. Left a couple stranded.
Chris Archer is a young man who really stands out on the field. And the one thing you notice is the hair. He's got the big hair that sticks out from the cap. In fact, it was his teammate Kurt Casale, the other catcher on the Rays, and as Lindor bangs a base hit back through the middle, who convinced him you might want to go up a size in hats, because he said before every time he'd throw a pitch his hat was falling off because he couldn't keep it underneath all that hair in there. So he went up a size in hats, and that's worked out better. But all of his teammates, they love to chime in when they're asked about Archer's hair, and they, some admire it, some don't care for it. But Jake Odorizzi, one of his newer teammates, said, "I think he looks like a younger Don King." I thought that was hysterical. Mike Napoli taking, and it's ball 1. But Archer has become, I don't know if he's the face of the Tampa Bay Rays, because I think that's Evan Longoria. He's the elder statesman, the guy that's been here. But Chris Archer is quickly becoming a face for baseball. I mean, Major League Baseball is using him in a number of promotional vehicles. And Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, recently told the Tampa Bay Times, look, from our perspective, Chris is sort of the ideal major league player. He's articulate, he's inquisitive, he's community minded, loves the game. You can't ask for a better package than that.
And he's the ace of this pitching staff here as far as starters go. It was James Shields who was here for a long time, and he passed it along to David Price, and then Price passed it along to this young man. And he's a good kid. He works hard. He wants to be the best, and he's good for baseball.
Lindor tried to make something happen. And Archer delivers a strike. And I think Francisco Lindor has a similar opportunity that Archer has. I mean, he's a guy that's young, he's articulate, he's all of the things that Archer is, and he just doesn't have as much time. Not that Archer's a grizzled veteran by any means.
No, he's 27 years old, but it's you're right. Great personalities.
Yeah. That's what the
seems like they enjoy the game. They have fun. They're smiling a lot.
And I think that's what the game needs to grow, to attract some of the younger fans and get people excited about baseball. You need those kinds of personalities. Archer's 1-2 to Napoli. Fire to first instead. Keeping a close eye on Lindor.
Well, on a 1-2 count, maybe they'd want to throw over because it's usually called from the bench, and sometimes that happens when you know you're going to throw a breaking ball. So maybe it would be a good time for Lindor to take off. That breaking ball down, or does he want to come in?
Runner goes, it's up high, and the throw bounces in there, gets away, and Lindor will go to third. So Conger compounds the problem with the errant throw. Now the Indians have a runner 90 feet away.
Well, you can run on Conger. It was like they stole 3 already in the first inning, and here's their 4th stolen base of the day. And I told you the numbers last year coming in. That's now, I think, 43 consecutive steals off Hank Conger. And of course you say Hank Conger, it's a pitcher that you steal off of, but that throw into center field allows LINDOR to get over to third base, and the infield comes in now.
Napoli fouled out to the catcher's first time up, takes it off the dish, and now a full count with Carlos Santana waiting on deck. Mike Napoli, born and raised in South Florida. Popped out of play. These folks were here for the series. Saw them today at the hotel and said, "Are you going to make a trip to Cleveland soon?" They said, "Maybe when it warms up." I said, "What? Are you talking July?"
Yeah, we'll be there for July 4th.
Here's the payoff pitch to Napoli. And he got it by him. Foul tipped it into the glove. And there are 2 down. 4th strikeout for Archer.
Gets him with a fastball. You can see that ball away, and it was a little bit above the belt, and Napoli couldn't catch up to it.
Cutter, or just maybe an unintentional cutter?
Might have had a little run to it. Looked like it had some good movement.
Yeah.
Not the straight four-seamer that you see sometimes.
Well, here's Carlos Santana, the infield back. 3 shift to the right side. He hits one to the left of the pitcher. It's going to be a double because there's nobody over there. Popped him up. Miller, the shortstop, grabs it, inning over. No runs a hit, a man stranded at third, still scoreless in Tampa. Later in the game, for Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Bottom of the third, no score. Top of the order due up for the Tampa Bay Rays. Out of play.
cut underneath, another breaking ball.
Yeah.
He's tried that pitch a couple of times today, just hasn't had a feel for it. But you know, you don't see him go back to it and try and get a feel for it. It ends up coming down. You can see he's talking to himself right now. He's got no feel for that slider. So it's basically fastball changeup with him. I mean, and in spring training, I thought he would work on a curveball, other than having that slider as well. But you don't see it too much in a ball game.
Swung on and missed. It's 2-2. We also noted in spring training, and even to a degree a year ago, Danny might kind of bob and weave his way through a couple innings, and then all of a sudden he'll find it. He'll find that groove and lock in. And he can motor through the lineup a couple of times.
Well, he
strike three called. Third strikeout of the afternoon.
Number 7, first baseman Logan Morrison.
Well, there it is. That pitch up and away.
Now Logan Morrison. Low with a fastball. That heater is right down the middle. And he took it for a strike, 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Now, what was wrong with that pitch? That's a weird one for me. I know it's an off-speed pitch. It's not the fastball.
Let's take a look. You know what? He's not calling anything down in the zone. It's a strike. Those pitches are better than the one he just rang up Forsythe with. That was, you know, up and out over the plate. He's not calling a low strike.
Golfs this one sky high, right center. And Naquin, the center fielder, gets there to make the grab. Time for a studio update. Here's Al Pawlowski.
Number 3, third baseman Evan Longoria.
The Twins have scored 13 runs in their first 8 games. Well, that's probably one reason why they don't have a win yet. They have struggled offensively.
Evan Longoria checks. It's a fastball for a called strike. We've had this conversation before about early in the season, people tend to put more emphasis on what happens in the first week or two of a baseball season. Same thing happens in July or August. It's not that you don't notice, but not as big a deal is made over a 6-game, 5-game losing streak. But, you know, if you're Minnesota sitting there at 0-8, it's a little bit different than Atlanta being 0-8. Atlanta, I think people recognize they're rebuilding. They're trying to put it back together. Minnesota, I think a lot of people, myself included, were expecting bigger things from the Twins this year. And to this point, it has not materialized. Danny Salazar may be finding his groove. Strikes out a pair here in the third. Still no score.
Tickets still available and include 8 different plans. When you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you'll get up to 12 games for free. Just go to Indians.com.
Jose Ramirez will lead off the 4th for Cleveland. And speaking of tickets, the Indians announcing today that the rained out game against the Red Sox back in Cleveland will be made up on August the 15th. It'll be a 1 o'clock game between the Indians and Red Sox. It's in the middle of a homestand for the Indians. Ramirez taking, and that time it's called a strike. Three and one. I don't think Ramirez knows where it's at. It's over toward the Tampa dugout and out of play. Jose swung at that pitch, and by the time he got done with his follow through, he was all spun around. Swung out and missed. He strikes out Ramirez, number 5 for Chris Archer. Today's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And for Minnesota, the news doesn't get any better with their closer Glenn Perkins being put on the DL. And boy, the story just gets stranger in Boston surrounding Pablo Sandoval. He's been put on the DL with a left shoulder. How do you hurt your shoulder when you don't play?
Yeah, good question.
Marlon Byrd, a line drive to right that was caught in the 2nd inning.
Chris Archer last faced the Indians in September of 2014. He was matched up in a game against Corey Kluber, which was a dandy. It was a 1-0 Indians win. As we mentioned, he was 0-3 in his career against the Tribe with a 5.40 ERA. But early, he's danced around, you know, some runners on base. The Indians do not have a hit with a runner in scoring position today. They've left 5 stranded. They can't get that big hit.
Archer wears the stirrups, the high socks. Hit hard, backhanded by Miller. The shortstop, long throw, and not in time. Byrd beats it out for an infield single.
Well, had to go to his backhand side, and by the time he can plant and throw, Byrd is going to get down the line and beat it out. So got a way to hustle and beat that ball out. Morrison did pick it. You can see Byrd has the foot on the base, and then here comes the baseball. A 1-hop throw. So that's going to be an infield single, the 4th hit for the Tribe. They have a hit in every inning. And they have first 2 innings they had at least 2 men on. Only 1 last inning.
But runners in scoring position every inning so far.
Yes, indeed.
Now Tyler Naquin, who shot a single between 3rd and short his first time up. way outside. Naquin shoots that out of play. And another foul back as Tyler Naquin tries to solve Chris Archer for the second time today.
Took a fastball away in his last at bat. Took it to left field for the single. Want to try and go inside here.
Up and away almost to the backstop. 2-2.
Well, that's a good way. You can see sometimes they wanted to go inside, how a pitcher can miss his target, and he missed by a lot on that last pitch.
Line right into the glove for a double play. I'll tell you, he absolutely smoked that ball, and nothing to show for it but a double play. Morrison, watch this, doesn't even move. To Andre Nadu has news of a different type of Rays mascot, one that the Indians weren't beating up on.
No, we didn't beat up on this one. But, you know, when you come to a ballpark, especially here, you never know what you're going to see, right? Yesterday, we look over into the dugout. This is when Tito Francona was going to talk. And there was a poodle sitting there. That's a real poodle, everybody. His name is Max. He's 4 years old. He's 60 pounds. He's got a color of red. And they just take him around. You get to see him all over the ballpark. I actually got to meet Max. A great dog, and that is real. He can do all kinds of stunts. They put him in cars. So, Matty, I know you don't like to go out to right center there to see the Rays. Should I bring Max up to see you, maybe?
Anytime. He can take over. I'll take a few innings off.
He was teaching Andre how to drive the cart.
Dog's unbelievable. I don't think I've seen more people want their picture taken with a dog than yes. They were all walking over to the dugout, so take my picture with the dog. Corey Dickerson ground out his only time up. Danny Salazar has set down 5 in a row. Back out of play. Fastball outside. 2-2. Scoreless game here in the home half of the 4th. Indians have 4 hits. Tampa just 1. That was the leadoff single by Logan Forsythe to start the game. And another borderline pitch. It's like I'm not trying to pick on Mike Winters, but he seems to be having one of those days where it's flip a coin sometimes back there.
Now there was another breaking ball he's trying to get a feel for, but that one was up and out over the plate.
I don't know too if it's tough sometimes for an umpire, even a veteran like Mike Winters, when you've got pitchers who are sort of, I don't want to say they're all over the place, but they haven't been consistently pounding one area of the strike zone, and he's probably having a tough time getting a feel for
2 guys that are throwing in the mid-90s.
Yeah,
and
where their stuff's
they're
at.
all over the place. Archer has 72 pitches through 4, and we see Danny Salazar now. He's 64 with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. I think Carrasco had like 60 pitches going into the 6th inning last night.
Oh yeah.
He was very efficient. You know, when you watch a guy pitch a game like that, anything else looks, you know, guys that are all over the place. He had what, 13 pitch innings? He had about 4 or 5 of them.
Well, in last night, Carlos had 1 walk in 8 innings, and Danny's already walked 3 here today. So different story.
Yeah, Carlos very efficient last night. Just some excellent stuff. Last 2 starts in this building have been about as good as you can do.
That's our great clip of the game from last night. Carrasco 3 times out here at the Trop, unbeaten. Followed off by Jennings, 0-2. And strike 3 called. Jennings out looking for the 5th strikeout of the day for Danny Salazar.
Good fastball by Danny. Boom, right on the outside corner. Tough pitch to handle. You can see it. It's just that angle where it goes. It's a perfect pitch right on the outside edge. That's where you want to live at if you can.
Now Brad Miller walked his only time up today. Out of play. To center field, Naquin will make the catch, and there are 2 down.
Number 20, right fielder,
Steven Souza Jr. Souza Jr. came to the Tampa Bay Rays a couple of years ago, and it was a very complicated 3-team trade between the Padres, the Rays, and the Nationals. Fastball just missing. 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Steven Souza Jr. swings and misses, and it's 2-2. He went to the same high school as Grady Sizemore, and like Grady Sizemore, he was not just a terrific baseball player, but a great football player too. And like Grady Sizemore, he passed up an opportunity to play at actually Grady was at UW. Souza passed up a chance to play at Washington State, signing on with the Washington Nationals. He goes down hacking. And Danny Salazar with his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. And we stay scoreless through 4. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. No score, 5th inning. Roberto Perez, number 9 hitter, going to lead it off. Then it's Rajay Davis and Jason Kipnis. Slow chopper to short. Miller doesn't come up with it cleanly, and Perez will reach on the error.
Second error of the game for Tampa. They had a couple last night. So there's your first. See if they can take advantage of the mistake, the error leading off the inning here.
Now Kevin Cash can't like that. You don't want to give extra opportunities in a tight game like this one. Rajai Davis squares, takes, it's up high, ball one. High pop, foul, and into the catwalk, off the catwalk,
ricochet,
and into the upper deck.
We've seen our share, at least 3 that have been up, if not 4, in that catwalk in this series.
Davis looks, it's down low. Rajai lined a single into center field his first time up, then stole a couple of bases but was stranded at third. And the last time up with 2 on and 2 out, he hit a line drive, but the second baseman Forsythe snagged it to end the inning. Well, he walks him, and now the Indians are in business. The first 2 on, just like the first inning, with nobody out. And down to Andre.
You know, last night, you know, Ricky mentioned this when it happened during the game, but when Davis hit that double, and it didn't go much further than outside of the, outside of shortstop. I talked to Terry Francona this morning. He says, I want to take a tape of that and I'm going to send it to our minor leagues. He goes, that's how we have to play. But he goes, I want the kids that are learning to come up in the game, come out of the box and think you can do that as soon as you hit it. Because a lot of times he hits the ball and he waits to see where it goes and then he figures out how he runs. He goes, the way Davis came out of the box is how I want all 9 of our guys to come out of the box every single day.
Well, that's where doubles are made right there, Andre, coming out of the batter's box thinking second, and then you can always stop if you can't make it and go back to first. But, you know, you watch those guys come out of the box, and that's the biggest difference. You do that every time, it becomes habit. And it's fun to see. Nowadays, when you see guys busting it down the line and come out of the box, it's a rarity.
KIPNIS cuts and misses at a pitch on the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. In the air to center field, backpedaling is KIERMAIER, tagging at second PEREZ, but no chance to go to third. And there's one away. You know, I wonder too sometimes, this is what I've always wondered about that observation that Tito made about Rajai Davis. He's fast. He's one of the fastest guys on the team, if not the fastest guy. So when he busted out of the box, you know he's fast because he is. But if a slow guy runs as hard as he possibly can, do you notice that he's really busting it, or are you just saying he's got to run harder because he's not fast?
No, you know the speed of everybody. You could, you take advantage. I mean, you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. You take what you can get.
You always say Grady Sizemore wasn't a blazer, but he ran hard.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Base running is all knowing, outfield, what you can do, situations. You can be a very good base runner and not be a fast runner. But if you do it consistently or almost every time you're out there, you know, you don't take for granted. You know, watch Bird. He's not a fast runner, but he's out of the box and he knows he's got to put his head down, get through the base. You get an infield hit. That's, to me, that's all you're asking right there. Last night, what did we have? LINDOR beat out a double play ball.
Right.
Boom, he stayed alive, ended up scoring. So it's little things that you have to do it consistently. You just can't do it one day and not feel good a day and not do it. You got to give it your all the time.
And
at least
so
try.
many plays are bang,
bang, bang. It's the time you don't.
Right. It's the one time you go, oh, I'm not going to get a hit. You take a couple of slow, and then you have to try to pick it up.
They boot it or something,
done.
and you look, you look silly.
Yep.
So I'm saying if you can do it consistently, it just becomes a habit, and a good habit to get into. Like I said, on a bad day, if you go 0 for 4 and you hit, let's say, 4 ground balls, you have to run hard to first base 4 times. That's it. It's not asking a lot. And then go play great defense if you don't get any hits.
90 feet. Run hard 90 feet.
That's right.
Lindor takes down and in. Two-one pitch. Lindor with a ground ball that could get through, and it will. Around third, Roberto Perez going to be waved home. Sarbo trying to bring him in. Souza's throw way offline. He goes to the backstop. Lindor goes to second base. Davis down at third.
Well, they finally get a base hit with a runner in scoring position. So they take advantage of the error that led off the inning. Lindor gets a breaking ball, hits it into right field. He'll go to second on their third error of the ball game because the throw is wide of home plate. So the Indians on the board. 1-0 game. And it looked like Conger, he wanted to try and make the tag, and he didn't even have the ball. You got to catch the ball first. And Archer has to run back, and he's trying to get back there into position. Just got there a little late to stand behind, but that allowed Lindor to go to second base.
Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out to talk with Archer. This inning started with an error by Brad Miller, and then the walk to Davis, and after KIPNIS flied out, Lindor delivers the RBI single. 1-0 Cleveland, but boy, the way this game has gone, you want to try to add as many as you can.
And they did not give an error on that play, although they must not have been watched because Lindor was at first base and he didn't go until the ball got past. But they did not give an error. Now Mike Napoli has had opportunities every time at bat to get a runner home from third or in scoring position.
Something we talked about earlier in the year. When you get that runner at third base with less than 2 out, trying to get him home. Remember we talked about if you can do it around 60% of the time. The Indians were 4 out of their first 5 on the year, but
well, it comes in spurts too.
Sure.
You know, it's tough to stay hot, but you have to find a way to take advantage. When you face good pitching, you've got to take advantage of the opportunities you have.
Infield in. Tampa bullpen now getting some action in it. 75 pitches, or rather 89 pitches on the day for Archer. Salazar's at 75 for Cleveland. Napoli taking a strike and a full count. So as he hits the 90 pitch mark, you take a look. That first inning was troublesome, and now again here in the 5th, only 1 out.
Yeah, and just remember, this inning started with the error.
Yep.
Ground ball, routine ground ball to shortstop.
Davis down the line at third. Napoli got a piece. Steven Geltz getting loose for Tampa, but just now starting to throw. Again, Napoli. I thought he got a piece. Maybe he didn't. The tag at home plate by Archer, and Davis is out. And it's only the second out of the inning.
Yeah.
Lindor's halfway down the line at third. There's a lot of confusion on the field. Now Archer will run him back to the bag.
Well, Napoli struck out, but nobody was on first, so he could run to first base. They got the out at home plate for the second out. And the Rays were coming off the field thinking it was a strikeout. Well, first base is open. He can go. They make a nice play. Look at Archer. He gets there in a hurry and he applies the tag. That's a good job on his part. That's only 2 outs because Napoli reaches first base. They didn't make a play and throw down there to get him. So he's got a chance to get out of it again. And now it's still first and third on the strikeout.
So Lindor is now at third base. Napoli at first. Six strikeouts for Archer. A lot happening on that play. You got a strikeout, a wild pitch, and a put out 2-1 at home plate.
You don't see that a whole lot.
And still only 1 run in for the Indians in this inning. Santana pulls it foul into the Tampa dugout. And he's in the hole 0-2. Carlos Santana right now 2 hits in his last 17 at bats. And in the hole 0-2 here. Missed inside.
It's a good pitch, though. Effective to at least get Santana off the dish. Tried to throw one under his hands and get it on the inside part of the plate, but he missed in off the plate like he should.
Archer sets, and the 1-2 is up high. Now Lindor at third base, off in foul ground. Napoli held at first by Morrison. And the 2-2 is right back up the middle. Miller, the shortstop, steps on the bag, and that will end the inning. Well, the Indians get the only run of the game. But this is a strange one in Tampa. 1-0 Cleveland, middle of the 5th.
Including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Urshela. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
Well, Danny Salazar handed a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 5th. Kevin Kiermaier, Hank Conger, and Logan Forsythe threw up, pops him up straight on the infield. Shortstop LINDOR makes the grab one away. The way that inning started to unfold, you figured the Indians were going to at least get a couple of runs out of that. And the way it ended up, Archer did a tremendous job to limit the damage to only 1 run.
They had extra outs in that inning and given a couple of extra bases. Tribe just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position today.
Hank Conger, big swing and a miss. Conger was robbed of a hit his first time up on a nice play in right field by Marlon Byrd. That turns out to be a big play because there were 2 outs and 2 men on base at the time.
Right. He doesn't make that play, probably both runs score. And it was after you thought he had him struck out too.
Yeah. And Conger cuts and comes up empty yet again. 1-2. He whacks this one into right. Byrd won't catch it. He'll play it off the wall. Fire to second base, and Conger beats it in there for a 1-out double. Just the second hit of the game for Tampa.
I'll tell you, Conger doesn't get cheated. He swings it hard up there, and there's a ball that Danny threw down the middle, and Conger took advantage of it. Roped it into right field. It gets to the wall. He hustles his way into second base. You're right, the leadoff single in the first, and now he doesn't give up a hit until a 1-out. And what are they looking at here? Oh, maybe the play at second base? Maybe he came up off the base on the slide?
Well, they could maybe steal an out here. Let's take another look.
I did not see it, but I see Tito out of the dugout, so. I mean, he beat it easily, but did he come off the base and see if LINDOR applies the tag? Let's see. Let's see. He's
off
out.
the base. Where's the tag?
Well,
and you can see LINDOR immediately.
Let's see. Here we'll see the tag.
He's out. I think
it's close. You see, that's going to be awfully close.
It's hard to tell where was the tag.
You know,
actually
I got to
applied.
tell you though, with this replay, it wasn't designed for plays like that. But I mean, it's in, and it is what it is. But I don't know if they're going to be able to overturn this one. You see, it's hard to tell when LINDOR tags him because there's a foot right now coming down on the base. They're showing it on the scoreboard here, and the fans are getting a look. And of course, all the Indians fans are saying he's out.
Now the evidence has to be overwhelming,
right,
in order to overturn it. And they do call him out.
Wow, that's a break.
Well, there's really no other replay angle to look at because we're the only television today. Let's take one more look. It's a different angle.
Yeah, he's in there easy, but as he comes to stand up, that front foot comes off the bag that he touched him with, and there it looks like he touches him.
That looks like the gloves. Yeah, the glove was there.
So,
yep. They give him credit for a double, and then the putout goes 6 unassisted. I don't know about you, but that ruling seems a little bit odd to me. It's not like the ball just magically appeared in Lindor's glove. He had to get it from somewhere.
Well, you're talking about
taking an assist away from the outfielder just because the initial ruling was safe, and then he popped off the bag.
I know. It's like if you steal a base and you overslide it and they come back. It's
yeah.
You know, it's different. But that's not why the replay was designed for sure. But and there's been a few outs like that over the course of last year and this year where a guy just pops up and you're a little off the base even though he beat it by plenty. But I mean, that's the rules now.
Forsythe goes down hacking. Inning over. Danny Salazar gets bailed out by a heads-up video replay from Mike Barnett, and the Indians are out of the inning.
By your local Toyota dealers. Last inning it starts with an error. Perez reaches first base, then a walk, and then the first hit for the Indians on the day with a runner in scoring position will drive one home. Weird inning. Lindor goes to second. That wasn't an error there. Napoli strikes out, but they get the out at the plate. They thought there was 3 outs that were leaving the field, but Napoli went to first because of the wild pitch. So a really strange inning, but the Indians come up and they've had the only run in the ball game. So they lead at 1-0 now here after 5.
Jose Ramirez going to lead it off for Cleveland, and he takes high ball 1. Right back into the crowd. Line drive base hit the other way for Ramirez. So the Indians have had a base hit, 1 to be exact, in every inning so far today.
That's a nice swing there, taking it the other way. 3rd time they've had their leadoff man aboard. Davis started the game and the error last inning, and now the base hit here by Ramirez. 6 hits now. And that pen is ready for Tampa down there. Whenever Kevin Cash wants to go with it.
There's Marlon Byrd, an infield single his last time up. He blasts one to deep left center field. Jennings looking up. Gone to Souvenir City. Marlon Byrd with a mammoth 2-run homer here in the 6th to make it a 3-0 Indians lead.
Well, he'll be going to that bullpen now.
His first home run as an Indian, a no-doubter. And Kevin Cash, maybe like Terry Francona in the series opener, staying with his ace, perhaps one batter too long.
Well, no doubt. And Bird jumped on that slider out over the plate, hits it deep. So that's a quick 2 runs. Ramirez took him the other way. Bird hits his first home run, makes it a 3-0 ball game. The 5th home run allowed this year by Archer. In his last start against Baltimore, there were 4 solo home runs. This is a 2-runner.
You know, an interesting note on that outing in which he gave up the 4 home runs, all of them solo shots. First Rays pitcher to do that since Matt Garza, the guy he was traded for.
Yeah.
Naquin tried to hold up, and he did not go around. Bird's had a few of those in his career. He knew that one was swatted. And Naquin swings through it.
Naquin had a single in his first at bat and then hit the ball as hard as you can hit it and hit it into a double play right at Morrison at first base. There was a runner there and he just stepped on the bag.
And a ground ball between first and second. Archer covering, beats Naquin to the bag. 1 away. Out comes Kevin Cash, and that's going to do it for Chris Archer. He goes 5 1/3. Charged with 3 runs. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen is for Steven Geltz. He's coming on when we come back. He wanted to get more outs today because in his first 2 starts he only went 5 innings.
Right.
But today only went 5 1/3. So still searching for that early season rhythm, that success that he's grown accustomed to. New pitcher is right-hander Steve Geltz. Already his 3rd appearance on the year, a walk and a strikeout in an inning and 2/3.
Well, and he bobbed and weaved. The Indians only scored 3 because that big 2-run homer, but they had opportunities to really knock him out of that game earlier if they could have got any hits with runners in scoring position. So now their bullpen is going to have to continue to do what it's been doing all year, and that's been very good. They have a 1.59 ERA, covering 22 2/3 innings, and they've been scoreless in 15 of their 18 appearances. So they got to keep it a 3-0 game if they want to try and come back.
Roberto Perez checks. It's a called strike, and it's 0-2. Danny Salazar going down to the Indians bullpen just to stay loose. Danny's only at 86 pitches, so he's still got I would guess at least another inning in him. And Roberto Perez down on strikes. He tried to hold up, but couldn't do it. 2 away. This summer, make a difference in Bike to Cure in Velosano, taking place July 29th through the 31st. Every dollar raised advances cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. Team up, get involved at velosano.org. Rajai Davis with 2 down on the bases empty. He has singled, walked, he has stolen 2 bases. And sends a sky-high pop, foul territory, and out of play. Indians' one and only trip to the Sunshine State this year. They'll play the Miami Marlins, but that's a 3-game series in September, and that'll be played in Cleveland. Way outside. And Davis drives one to deep left field. Jennings looking up. Goodbye. Rajai Davis tees off his first home run of the year. And the Indians add to their lead, now a 4-0 ball game. Oh, baby. Here's our Yellowwood bringing the lumber, and boy, did he bring it.
That looked like a little cut fastball. That stayed middle of the plate. He turned on it. I think Geltz knew it as soon as it left the bat.
Jason Kipnis takes ball 1. Up and away. Well, that Tampa bullpen had been pretty much impenetrable, but Davis tacks one on for Cleveland. And that's low. 3 balls, no strikes. Way outside, and he walks him on 4 straight. And it will bring up Francisco Lindor.
Geltz came on, got the first hitter out. Perez, who was able to strike out, then the home run, now a walk. Indians now with 8 hits on the day.
Up and in, ball 1 to Lindor. Here's a game 2, and granted, far from over, but to this point, it's a game where, to me, Danny Salazar, while he hasn't been spectacular, he's only given up 2 hits. Yeah, he's walked 3, he has struck out 7, but his ability to keep Tampa Bay off the board, I think, has really played a huge factor and allowed the offense to not get too frustrated, because when you don't get those big hits early in a game and you leave all those guys stranded, that frustration can start to build, and maybe they don't come through at all and have any success. But because it's still a scoreless game, maybe that allowed them to, well, kind of break through here.
I think it did, and I think the turning point right there would be Bird. They had a nice catch out there in right field to save 2 runs, end up hitting the 2-run homer to give you a little cushion in this inning.
Kipnis takes off, and again, Conger, no chance.
It's their 5th stolen base of the day.
They have run wild here this afternoon. While it hasn't led to anything to this point.
Right, it has not, but still. Conger not even a throw to second base, and that's one thing you can do when he's behind the plate. You can run on him, and they take their chances.
2-2. Lindor pulls it towards first. It will stay fair. Close play, and Morrison just did beat him to the bag. But the Indians go deep in the 6th. Marlon Byrd, a 2-run tater. Rajay Davis with a solo smash, and the Indians are up 4.
Kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket, and tickets are located in the family deck out at Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse. And kids tickets only available at Indians.com.
Logan Morrison going to lead off for Tampa. Swing and a miss by Danny Salazar. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Morrison whiffed in the first, fly to center in the third. Swung over the top, and Danny Salazar has now punched out his 8th Tampa Bay hitter.
There you see it, that pitch again. Change up away, or it's coming in on him, but you can see the swing. He's out in front. 8 strikeouts now for Danny. Just the 2 hits.
Evan Longoria struck out in the 3rd inning. Pulls it to 3rd.
Base hit.
Rare hand grab, off balance throw. Nicely done by Jose Ramirez, but Longoria beats it out. He almost made a superhuman play out of that thing.
I'm surprised that he made it as close as he did, but when you're getting on this turf, he was able to pick it up, and when you're playing back like he was, there's no way he was going to be able to get him, but did a nice job to make it close. So the 3rd hit now for the Rays.
Corey Dickerson with 1 on 1 out. Jeff Manship getting loose now in the Cleveland pen. Indians return home tomorrow night, a weekend series against the New York Mets. The National League champions make their only trip to Cleveland. 7 o'clock game tomorrow night, 4 o'clock afternoon start Saturday, 1 o'clock series finale on Sunday, and the weather forecast looks terrific.
In this series, the Rays, they've taken their time when it's come to scoring. They didn't score until the 7th in game 1. Last night they only scored the 1. That came in the 8th. And here you have Salazar shutting him down now into the 6th right now with only 3 hits. So it holds true with their offense. They have a tough time scoring in the first 5 innings of any ball game.
We'll have you covered if you can't make it down to the ballpark. Indians live tomorrow night at 6:30. Tickets obviously still available. You can go online at Indians.com. Get the best seats in the house for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
We got a 4 o'clock game Saturday, correct?
Yeah.
And then a 1 o'clock Sunday.
Corey Dickerson fouls it off third base side. We'll see the return of Bartolo Colon tomorrow night. Cody Anderson going for Cleveland. Josh Tomlin makes his first start Saturday against Matt Harvey. And then it will be Corey Kluber going on Sunday against Steven Matz, the left-hander. 2-1. Dickerson fouls it off. Salazar ready with the 2-2. And Dickerson fouling it off. Pulls it foul over toward the Tampa dugout. White Sox lead the Twins at Target Field in the bottom of the 7th, 3-1. A Trevor Plouffe ground out, accounting for Minnesota's only run so far today. Avisail Garcia has gone deep for Chicago. Minnesota in danger of falling to 0-9 to start the year. Now the 2-2, up and away, and a full count. Tribe will see Minnesota on their next road trip, as well as the Detroit Tigers. Runner holds, payoff pitch, changeup, got him swinging. Strikeout number 9 for Danny Salazar.
Well, that changeup has been a devastating pitch for him today. 9 punch-outs, 16 on the year. And you can see the hitters just can't wait back on it. I mean, when you have to get geared up for a mid-90s fastball, it's tough to stay back, no matter how hard you try.
Low fastball. Desmond Jennings down swinging in the 2nd, looking in the 4th. Checked his swing and a foul back. Threw it by him. High pop. Carlos Santana backpedaling and makes the catch. Danny Salazar cruises through the 6th. He has struck out 9 Tampa hitters. Is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough. Danny Salazar getting some handshakes and congratulations in the Indians dugout for a job well done. New Tampa pitcher is left-hander Dana Evelyn. Mike Napoli taking it, a called strike. And a foul into the screen. Right field near the line, slicing, and it is a fair ball. And will hop over into the seats for a ground rule double.
Couldn't have placed that any better. Down the line, no chance for Souza to get there. First double of the day for the Indians. Napoli gets his second on the year, and it just skips into the seats. Ground rule double.
Here is Carlos Santana taking a breaking ball for a strike. Santana struck out his first time up, popped up, and bounced into a fielder's choice in his other 2 trips today. Shoots it foul. Well, those people had to have their breath stopped for a moment. And that ball came whistling right at him.
Yeah, you don't realize, there's maybe a little over 100 feet away from home plate, and that was a line drive. It was down enough where it hit the padding. You could hear it. Yeah, in those seats, you have to pay attention.
Slowly chopped towards third. Longoria flips it across. 1 away. Hey, Indians fans, if you can't watch the games on your TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Indians wherever you go. And we'll be going to the city of brotherly love at the end of the month. And you were talking earlier about a trade where the Astros traded for
Giles.
Ken Giles to get their closer, from
correct.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And one of the guys the Astros gave up in that trade was Vincent Velasquez. He's pitching today. He's pitched 8 innings and he has struck out 14 San Diego Padres.
No kidding.
Shutout baseball. 14.
Yeah, they traded Giles. Philly thought they had a good young closer. You know who's closing games for him now?
Philadelphia.
JENNINGS Gomez.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the former Indian.
Yeah. And has 4 saves on the year already.
Well, we'll see JENNINGS and the rest of the Phils in Philadelphia for a 3-gamer right at the end of the month. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Good pitch. Evelyn threw it by Ramirez. Just missed. It's been talked about. It's now official. The Yankees have signed Nick Swisher to a minor league deal, and he's playing tonight. Gotta wonder if there's anything left in the wheels, though. After Atlanta cut him loose, Atlanta also cut Michael Bourne loose at the end of spring training.
Yes, they did.
And a 3-2. Slowly chopped towards short. Miller charging hard. Gloves it, flips it to first, and this time he gets his man. But that was a similar play to the one that opened the 5th inning, in which Miller made the error and Roberto Perez came around and scored the first run of the game. As promised earlier, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. And Marlon Byrd with a nice sliding catch in the alley. That was back in the 2nd inning with 2 on and 2 out. Saved a run or 2. And then Byrd goes bye-bye birdie with a 2-run blast in the 6th.
Yeah, made it a 3-1 game at the time, and then Davis hit a home run.
Up and away. And a strike call. 2-2. Wow, Vince Velasquez finished that game, complete game, 16 strikeouts, 3-hit shutout for the Phillies.
Wow, that's
might be the best game of the year so far, huh?
I would think so. I would hope so.
2-2. Bird checked and fouled it off. Didn't walk a batter. And San Diego, after starting to turn things around, have now lost 3 in a row.
I think they've been shut out already 5 times.
The 2-2 pitch. Outside and a full count.
Yeah, that's their 5th time being shut out this year already.
3-2. Bird fouls it back. With Napoli at third and 2 down, the 3-2 pitch to Bird is ball 4, just a bit outside.
See if this wraps around the plate. I think it did.
We'll get a pinch runner now for Marlon Bird as Colin Cowgill enters the game.
Number 7, Colin Cowgill. Batting number 30, center fielder,
That'll bring up Tyler Naquin. Naquin singled his first time up, and then his next at bat was just pure bad luck. He hit a bolt, I mean a line shot to first base, and Morrison, who was holding the runner on, just turned and caught it and was able to step on first to end the inning for a double play. Grounded out his last time up. And if he's playing his normal position, it's a double down the right field line. Blooped. This could be trouble. It's dropping, and it is in for an RBI single. Tyler Naquin's second hit of the day falls in shallow left, and a 5-0 Indians lead. Tyler is first big league RBI now.
Well, facing the left-hander, he hasn't been playing against him to this point, but he finds a way to drop one in, drive in a run, make it a 5-0 ball game. So he is now 2 for 4 on the afternoon. Ten hits now for the Tribe.
Roberto Perez. Cuts and misses. It's quickly 0-2. caught the outside corner to end the inning. But Tyler Naquin adds another run to the Indians' lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Nothing. Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Tribe goes to the bullpen for Zach McAllister. Danny Salazar went 6 3-hit shutout innings here this afternoon. Walked 3 and struck out 9. Colin Cowgill stays in the ballgame and takes over in right field. First ball swinging, Brad Miller sends one to center field. Tyler Naquin has it, 1 down.
Well, Danny Salazar today had the strikeout pitch working. Nice changeups, good fastballs, well located. Able to get a couple of hitters to chase. He had 9 strikeouts on the afternoon. He did walk 3, but again, very good stuff. His only other start against the Rays came last year where he went 7 2/3, but he only had the 2 punch outs tonight, 9 punch outs, and he goes the 6 innings.
Popped him up. Santana calls for it and has it. 2 away. Saturday, MLB on FS1 double dip. AL East champion Blue Jays taking on the Boston Red Sox. Then an NL East matchup between the Braves and Marlins. You'll only see it on FS1. It all starts Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. On Fox Sports 1, you can also watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Threw it by him. Kevin Kiermaier 0 for 2. right back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Hit on the ground right at Jason KIPNIS, who throws him out. And Zach McAllister works a 1-2-3 7th inning. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Indians on top with a 5-0 lead. And as we head now to the 8th inning, the new Tampa Bay pitcher is former Indian Ryan Webb.
Coming on for the 3rd time this year. Only pitched 2 1/3 innings. Sinker ball guy. He did a nice job for the Indians last year getting ground balls. Had a very good ratio. Ground ball to fly ball ratio.
Caught the outside corner for a strike. Rajai Davis blasted his first home run as an Indian in the 6th. Pulls it foul. Ball in the dirt. Back in the 6th inning.
Put a good swing on it. Looked like a cut fastball to me. Stayed middle of the plate. Hit his first home run of the year. Has a couple of stolen bases, and he's going to beat that one out anyway.
Ate up Miller.
It's his 3rd hit of the day. Miller going to his right on the backhand, couldn't field it cleanly, but I'm telling you, he would have had a tough time trying to throw him out. It'll go as a base hit for Davis.
Gives Rajay a 3-hit afternoon. And now Jason KIPNIS, who has walked twice and stolen 2 bases. Upstairs. 2-0. Bryant Shaw getting loose for the Cleveland Indians. And that time KIPNIS takes a strike. Outside 3-1. In addition to Nick Swisher, a couple of other former Indians signed minor league deals officially. The Minnesota Twins added David Murphy on a minor league deal, and the Pittsburgh Pirates have signed Justin Masterson to a minor league contract. 3-1. KIPNIS pops it left side, and that'll find its way into the seats. KIPNIS tried to pull the hands in, yanks it down the line, but foul. Had plenty of distance, but just couldn't quite keep it inside that line.
Well, trying to find the baseball there. You see it cut in front of the pole. Was definitely a foul ball.
3-2. And again, KIPNIS draws a walk, his 3rd of the day. So the first 2 reach against Ryan Webb here in the 8th. And it'll bring up Francisco Lindor. Lindor, a couple of hits, an RBI. Man, that's outside. Way outside, 2-0. And Lindor pops one toward left near the line. Jennings is there. And the runners retreat, 1 away.
Yeah, Webb having a hard time finding the strike zone here.
Last night, Lindor on a pop-up, he went over there to try and catch it. It never came down. He was waiting for it. It got lodged up among the catwalks here.
He was having fun with a lot of different people on that one.
Mike Napoli doubled and scored his last time up. And it takes a strike from Ryan Webb. Quickly, the count 0-2. Danny Farquhar getting loose now for Tampa. And tapper back to Webb, goes to second. There's one, and a double play ends the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland 5, Tampa nothing. Brought to you by Mazda. When the Indians score 4 or more runs of support for the starting pitcher, they won 38 in a row. And while Danny Salazar was in there today, they backed him up with 4. Bryant Shaw, third Indians pitcher to work here this afternoon. He'll face the number 9 hitter Hank Conger, then Logan Forsythe and Logan Morrison. Technically, they scored 5 for Salazar because that 5th run came in the top of the 7th. And he didn't come out till the bottom half. So, yeah. Swing and a miss by Conger.
Yeah, they play the big shift for Conger as KIPNIS is in short right field. Ramirez, who's in third, is way over at short.
close. Very close. No call. 1-2. Especially with 2 strikes. Pulls that foul. Conger will get another shot. He doubled to right his last time up.
Yeah, the Rays with only 3 hits this afternoon. 1 in the first, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. And Conger, the only extra base hit, his was a double.
Meantime, the Indians have rolled to 11 hits.
Yeah, they've had a lot of guys on base today. They left 11 stranded. Hits and 6 walks, so their share of base runners.
That's outside, and the count 2-2. Got to be nice for Brian Shaw just to get back out there again after his last appearance in Chicago kind of blew up on him.
Number 11, second baseman, Logan Forsythe.
Well, he comes right back there. You can see the cut on that fastball. See how much movement. That thing moves about, looks like about 12 inches, and Conger swings through it. So 10 strikeouts of Rays batters today by the Indians pitcher. Salazar had 9. Shaw makes it 10.
In addition to the 5 runs and 11 hits, the Indians have left 11 on base. Early on in this game, it looked like maybe a game of wasted opportunities. But the Indians were able to cash in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. Strike to the inside corner. Neither starting pitcher really was able to find a rhythm in the first couple of innings. They had guys on base and kind of trying to establish a rhythm, because even the umpire was having trouble, I think, calling balls and strikes early on. Danny found some rhythm in that third, went 1, 2, 3, and would retire 7 out of the next 8. But Archer never found it today. To center field, Naquin got a great jump on the ball and runs it down easily, 2 away.
Number 7, first baseman, Logan Morrison.
Logan Morrison 0 for 3, has struck out twice.
Yeah, Morrison not starting off the year as he wanted to. Now 2 for 28. And how many times have we talked about it? You know, you hate to start off slowly, because everywhere you look, you don't want to look on the scoreboard and see a batting average that you don't. Yeah, and you have to battle your way through it. I mean, throughout the course of the year, you may go 2 for 28, but boy, you hate to start out that way. You know, sometimes you have a tendency to try to do too much. You want to get 4 hits in 1 at bat, and you just have to be patient with it and work your way through early season slumps. And it happens to a lot of different hitters, on a lot of different teams.
Morrison behind 1-2. Ooh, just a bit off the dish. Threw it right by him. Boy, Brian Shaw, money here this afternoon. Retires the side in order, strikes out a pair. Are dynamite here today, and his ability to avoid a few landmines, if you will, early in the ball game and settle in gave that offense a chance to overcome some of their early struggles, and the offense really poured it on here late. They kind of took a page from Tampa's offensive playbook, didn't they?
Started late. Yeah, they came out in the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th.
Danny Farquhar on for Tampa here in the 9th.
But you hit a couple of home runs and you score with one swing. It's nice. You know, you get a guy on the Bird 2-run home run and then a Davis solo shot in the 6th inning.
Farquhar is the 5th Tampa pitcher to work here today. And that's a foul ball behind the bag at first. Slowly chopped. The second baseman, Forsythe, will take care of Santana one away. Time now for our Pat O'Brien plays of the game. Marlon Byrd, appropriately enough, hits it to the duck for a 2-run homer. And then Rajai Davis, a solo smash into the cheap seats. So that's what you were talking about, the instant offense.
Yeah, one swings, let's go. The Indians had opportunities. They didn't hit very well with runners in scoring position today, but you like the home runs, quick strikes.
Jose Ramirez singled and scored in the 6th inning. And he blasts one to deep right field. Souza Jr. going up and won't get it. That clears the yellow line for another Indians home run. First homer of the game for Jose Ramirez. First homer of the season, I should say. And, you know, Jose's a guy who during spring training hit quite a few home runs, and Terry Francona said, you know, he's stronger than people realize.
Yeah, that he is. I'll tell you, you know, he packs a wallop for a little guy. Stays back, and, you know, he gets the barrel of the bat right through it, and that's a line drive out of here. So the 3rd home run of the afternoon for the Indians, and Ramirez gets his first on the year. Makes it a 6-0 ball game.
In tight to Colin Cowgill, who gets his first at bat of the day. Up and away. Perea and 1 to count. Cowgill draws a 1-out walk. And it will bring up Tyler Naquin.
Center fielder, number 30, Tyler Naquin.
Naquin pulls that foul. Tyler 2 for 4 with a run batted in. Very easily could be 3 for 5. Pulls that foul. Yeah, with right-handers on the mound the next 2 games in Cleveland, we'll see if Tyler Naquin gets more opportunities to start. One, 2 off. Just a bit low. 2-2. And Naquin has his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Cowgill stops at second.
Oh boy, back out, and
that's one way to ensure more playing time.
Yeah, well, you know what? Good for him. He's been sitting for a while, but he comes up and gets his 3rd hit today and takes it right back up the middle. So he's had 2 to left, 1 to center field. $13 hits now for the Indians. 3 guys have their first home run of the new year. Bird, Davis, Ramirez.
Roberto Perez looking for his first hit. Reached on an error and scored the first run of the game. That was back in the 5th. And Roberto Perez blast off deep center field. KIERMAIER runs it down. And everybody retreats. Well, Perez tried to give it a ride.
Well, he hit it on the nose. You can't do much better than that. Use the biggest part of the ballpark, and one of the best center fielders runs it down. That's a good at bat. You hit it hard, hit it on the nose, but he's going to come back empty with no hits today.
Now Rajai Davis has 3 hits, including his first home run. Farquhar delivers in off the dish. One ball, 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out in the 9th. Davis almost offered, but held up. And Davis with a smash to the left of Longoria. He recovers in time to get Naquin. And the inning is over, but the Indians add another tally to their total on a home run by Jose Ramirez. Much to the delight of that young lady. And as we go to the bottom of the 9th, the 4th Indians pitcher to work this afternoon will be Trevor Bauer. Bauer will face the 3, 4, and 5 batters for Tampa. Zach McAllister and Brian Shaw combined to retire the last 6 in a row. And a fastball in there for a strike. Down in the dirt. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and Longoria is out looking.
You didn't agree with that call, but I'll tell you, that ball is awfully close. And you see Perez bring it back a little bit as he comes in. But Mike Winters makes the call. 12 strikeouts now by Indians pitchers.
Corey Dickerson. Blast off down the line, but foul. So we talked earlier about the Velasquez pitching performance for the Phillies. Struck out 16 in a complete game 3-hit shutout. I asked you if it was the performance of the year, and you said, of course. Well, Garcia of the Cardinals complete game 1-hit shutout today. He struck out 13. So a measly 13.
So he's the topper?
I don't know. I still think the 16 is pretty good.
Yeah. This early in the year, no question. 16 punch-outs, and you said he only threw, what, about 113 pitches, I believe?
I don't know if I had the pitch count.
Yeah, I think it was 113.
Garcia threw 104 in his CG.
A couple of great performances today over the National League.
Man, oh man. Here today it was Danny Salazar going 6 innings. He only gave up 3 hits, struck out 9, did walk 3. But in 103 pitches, he kept the Rays off the board, and then McAllister and Shaw. Now Bauer picked up right where he left off. Swung on and missed, full count.
He gets the count in his favor, and he'll give you that back leg. He'll get down on the knee and take a healthy cut. We saw it, I think it was in the first game of the series. He does not get cheated taking a swing.
Out of play. Danny Salazar retired 13 of the last 16 batters he faced today. And now the bullpen has combined to retire 7 straight. They just have not given Tampa any chance. Yeah, and the 3-2. Breaking ball pulled in the hole, and a base hit for Dickerson.
Came back with a 3-2 hook right there. And he hit a nice liner into right field.
Desmond Jennings has struck out twice, and he's popped up. That's low, ball 1.
White Sox come in here after we leave. today. They ended up winning again. Chicago now 7-2.
Jennings can't catch up.
And I don't think it's going to get any easier for them because they're going to be facing Chris Sale tomorrow night.
Ooh. Wow. Pretty good looking pitch, but it's called a ball 2-1.
Hasn't called many low pitches all day long.
Swings and fouls it back. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 now from Trevor Bauer, and it's pulled on the ground to third. Ramirez will have no play. Second time today that a little tapper to third has resulted in an infield hit for Tampa Bay.
Well, that time Ramirez realized he didn't have a play with Jennings going down the line, so he gloves it and just holds on to it.
So out of their 5 hits, remember 2 of them have been little dribblers just like that one. And Brad Miller, the batter, with 1 out. Right back to the screen. Missed in tight. Swing and a miss by Miller. Bauer with 2 aboard and 1 out. Delivers the 1-2 to Miller, and he strikes him out. 2 away. Now the New York Mets will await the Cleveland Indians when we return home tomorrow night. It's going to be an interesting matchup because you've got the Mets who they were on the verge of falling to 2-6 to start the year if they don't pull that game out yesterday, and a lot of it was made of manager Terry Collins going to his closer for a multi-inning
5-out save
for what, the 2nd day in a row he had pitched, something to that effect. And he just basically said, hey, I felt it was a game where we needed to win. And of course the media took that statement and they've run with it. But
well, you try and win every game, you know, and they had today off, so they'll probably flying into Cleveland about now or a little later tonight. But yeah, you want to end up, they got the win 2-1 against Miami yesterday, and you got to feel good about yourselves on an off day. There's nothing wrong with that. They can say whatever you want. You try and win every game.
Smashed right side out of play. Braves and the Nationals are scoreless in the second inning. Washington trying to run their record to 7-1, matching the Cubs and the Orioles for the best start in baseball. Trevor Bauer and the Indians 1 strike away from a series win. And he's got it. Bauer locks up Souza to end the game, and the Indians win this baby going away by a final score of 6-0. And they take 2 out of 3 from Tampa. After splitting their first 2 series, rain shortened on the year, the Tribe comes to Florida and they win the series against Tampa. Winning pitcher is Danny Salazar. He'll go to 2-0 now to start the year. Losing pitcher is Chris Archer. He falls to 0-3. With the win, the Indians will return home at 4-3 on the year. Tampa will await the Chicago White Sox, and the Rays are now 3-6 on the season.
Well, they got to face a right-hander to end the series. They end up winning the series, and now it's time to go home, where it looks like we're going to have some pretty good weather. So looking forward to it.
Weather should be much, much better at home since we left there last. And that's good news, as the Indians will take on the New York Mets tomorrow night. You saw Andre talking with Marlon Byrd. He'll join him on Indians Live. Stay tuned. That's coming up next. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks so much for watching. We'll greet you again tomorrow night at home when the Indians take on the New York Mets.